All right, let's roll here, Major League Baseball, to start us off. And we got early action here with the Atlanta Braves are going to take on the Philadelphia Phillies. A lot of books aren't even showing the starting pitcher yet, and we don't know necessarily who the starting pitcher is for Atlanta, but it's going to be probably one of two different guys, and maybe we'll see both pitchers today in the game. Whether or not it's an opening situation or a couple of innings, whatever the case may be, but we do know in the situation here with the series with the Braves and Phils. So maybe Smith Shawver expected here to go in this one for Atlanta, and for the Phillies, Aaron Nola here in this one. You have Nola here going to be favored about $1.20, $1.25 or so, and the total 9 under 15 in this one. Phillies have won 11 of their last 15 games right now, and Nola comes in with a 1.37 ERA in his last 3 starts. He has a 1-0 record. He's been pretty strong for the Phils as far as when he's been on the mound. The Phillies are 11-4 with Aaron Nola on the mound at home. They're also 20-13 overall with Nola. Phillies have gone over in 4 of Nola's last 6 starts with 1 push. See if you guys are ready to roll on some of the plays today here. Crush says, give me the Phillies in this one. Nola, 3.86 ERA in his last in his 6 career playoff starts. And he's has a 3-2 record. A lot of starts here against Atlanta. If you look at the Atlanta's bats against Nola coming into this game, you've got 3. Basically, everyone's seen him a bunch of times, of course, with this divisional matchup. You have Austin Riley, 5 home runs off of him in 57 plate appearances. Ronald Acuna, 4 home runs against him in 56 plate appearances. Also, Ozuna, 4 home runs in 53 plate appearances. It sounds like a lot, and they're slightly above average, certainly here against Nola, but still a 3.4 ERA for Nola in his career, 15-10 record against them. So I think for me in this one, I'm going to expect runs here. It looks like Atlanta, whether or not they were, convinced or not, they haven't necessarily officially named their starter. From what I can see, coming into today's game, again, Smith Shawver certainly could be in line to see action here, along with Bryce Elder, who would be probably the other guy that you might see. So Shawver's got a 4.26 ERA, Elder 3.81 ERA. So I think the Braves might be fine here as far as how they're going to set up. Just interesting to me, the Phillies here as a slight favorite. Would they have been the favorite if the Braves, whatever's gone on so far in not only this series, but the whole playoffs, right? It just feels like we're throwing everything out the window all of a sudden. Yeah. Fernando says he doesn't even want to play the game if Atlanta couldn't even figure it out. Will that change for Fernando? Does he wait for a pitcher? Does he wait for the announcement? But these will probably be okay. Well, no doubt, and I think the information I feel pretty solid here as far as 2 of these guys, and Jamal says Braves plus money. Says he maybe can't pass it up here. Nathan says he's got the Titans here. Stick a fork in the Braves. They're done. I mean, if this is anything right, it should be like, what is it going to, Arizona and Minnesota in the World Series. I guess the networks would love that. Not saying who's going to win. I'm just saying if it's going to be topsy turvy, right, in the American, in the for who's winning these games, we'll just take the worst teams. And by the way, as I don't know if I was calling it complaining or just trying to explain, why we're taking extra days off in the postseason when it doesn't happen during the regular season. And maybe that's why we're seeing some of these results the way we are. But, and by the way, it's for TV. And we were also talking about how we're in kind of like weird start times because we don't want to overlap any games, and they're going to end up overlapping. But nonetheless, the ratings are flopped. The ratings have totally flopped over the wild card round. The numbers are in, and they are drastically down now. Whether or not it had to do with a bunch of sweeps, they didn't get any game threes out of it. Remember, that's a huge part of it as well. But even measurably, comparatively, the numbers were down. So it was not a good, if you're trying to set up for we're doing this because of TV, blah, blah, blah. Well, that didn't work. Baseball ended up with a problem, maybe also with the weekend starts, whatever they were doing. Whatever. They got to figure it out. All right. So, okay, I don't know if I covered it too extensively, but nonetheless, the Braves are 8-5 against the Phillies this season, and yeah, I guess we can't really dive that deep. Well, again, I think we do know who those pitchers are as far as the rookie Smith Shawver and Bryce Elder. So we'll see. Atlanta, they've gone over in 13 of their last 18 games, so that's the way I'm looking. I'm going to go over in this one at 9 runs, no doubt. A pretty high number here. I'm going over as my play on the show here. And I'll have a premium. I have a premium pick in this game. I have a premium pick in all 3 games again today. So even off the 2-1 day in baseball playoffs. Okay, the Astros are going to come in here to take on the Twins in this one, and you have Houston up here now, of course, 2-1 after yesterday's win. Jose Urquidy gets the start. Houston's kind of dealing, I don't know if it's called a position of strength necessarily, but they feel like they've made a choice between 2 solid starters to take the ball in this one, going up against up and down Joe Ryan here. Ryan has a 6.53 ERA in his last 4 starts. Minnesota, though, is 9-5 at home with Joe Ryan. Urquidy, when he started with the Astros this season, they were 6-10 in his starts. However, they were 3-2 on the road. They've gone over in 6 of Urquidy's last 9 starts. Houston has won 7 of 9 now coming into this one. Minnesota 49-35 at home, but man, the Astros were playing long ball yesterday, no doubt about it. Here come your plays, it looks like. With Ray saying he'll take the over in this one. Yeah, there's a lot of, support here. It looks like maybe for as far as some of the trends that I like to follow are concerned, but I don't know if we might have a challenge, Ray. Uh-oh. Look, I'm going to support Ray as far as the numbers because I'm going to have to be contrarian and think a little bit in this one with my selection, especially with the total that I actually am concerned with. And I'm not saying I'm totally going against Ray. In fact, the reason why it's a free play is because the total is 8. If it was more rounded to It is 8/20. What do I have listed on the screen here? Dwight says Houston gets the win on the money line. I have it 8/25, and it might not even be that high. And I better update it because I'm going to go under in this one. And maybe that's why, because like I said, I thought maybe it would come a little higher, and I was actually prepared to go under as a premium, but not now. Not if it's going to be just 8/20, but at 8.5 under 20, I would have considered that. That might be the smallest of margin for me to get involved in a premium in a playoff game where, I feel more confident about all the things that you can check and information that you know. That's why it's easier to bet the bigger games and no passing on big games. Come on. I mean, of course, they're always closely rated. Just got to be on the right side in the biggest games. For every game, we know that. So I am on the under here as my free play in this one. And the Astros, who said it? Talked about them being the road warriors. Fernando's on the National. What's going on here? He's on. Fernando's on the Nationals. Wait a second. Oh, and CTG's on Houston, but Dwight said, road warriors, and yeah, I mean they're 52-30 on the road this season. So Minnesota facing elimination here today, and we'll see. I mean, it's Houston with all this experience, right? And they sure looked the part yesterday. All right. With the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. And, well, I guess you got Lance Lynn for a reason, and here he is. Yeah, when you're the Dodgers, maybe you're expecting a little bit more here. But, again, they made the move. They needed more pitching. They probably are in this situation because of the collapse of the rotation here a little bit late in the season. But I don't know. They're getting a pretty juicy opportunity here going up against a starting pitcher, basically who's had a 6 ERA all season in Brandon Pfaadt. In fact, he's got a 6.39 ERA in his last 3 starts. But Arizona, they're 4-0 in the playoffs at home. Their bullpen has been hot. Now, Pfaadt's been bashed around in a couple of starts against the Dodgers. He's 0-2 with a 9.35 ERA, and Lance Lynn has had a great, career, or every time he's faced Arizona. 12 career starts, a 2.96 ERA, and a 6-1 record. Lynn has a 3.38 ERA in his last 4 starts, and I know that people are, not big on Lance Lynn. I've tried to support Lynn and still think that I would say, yes, he's totally underachieved in his career compared to his potential and expectations. But when he can perform, the Dodgers are 9-2 with Lynn since they acquired him, even if he hasn't set the world on fire, including 3-1 on the road. So another problem though here for the Dodgers is the use of the bullpen here a little bit. Yeah, I mean, maybe there's a little bit of, I don't want to say, rest here. I mean, that's what it is because, no game. But because, again, we've only played 2 games in this series now as we get back to action here. But the Dodgers, for whatever reason, the great offense, they're hitting 159. I mean, I go back and I don't want to call out whoever was in the, when I was talking about, hey, I've got the Phillies higher, but look at that Phillies offense. I mean, and the Dodgers right now, these guys have just stopped hitting all the high-priced players. Mookie and Freddie are a combined 1 for 13. The Dodgers are hitting 159 over the first 2 games of this series, and the Dodgers have scored just 2 runs in those first 2 games. on top of the fact that the starters have only gotten 6 outs in the 2 games. So that's been a big problem here. So, you want to give Lynn a big chance, but this price seems just unrealistic. I mean, really, a dollar, even at a dollar. Okay, it's even down to a dollar 35, maybe at some places now. So, I think, if it's sharp money, if it's square money, do people really want to bet against the Dodgers, or are they go in the window like, no way can they lose these guys again? Because all we're seeing right now are the underdog teams winning. Thomas Lewis says he's got the Dodgers. Solo says Lance elimination in an elimination game. Lance elimination. I called him. I think Lance elimination, and he says, "Give me the snakes in the over." I'll take the over then. Solo, I like it. Let's do it. Ray says the Dodger bats are asleep, but CTG says I'm fading both pitchers. Let's go over. Yeah, maybe can the Dodger bats kind of wake up here against, like I said, you want to say a marginal starting pitcher. Now, Fott is a prospect, and because of Arizona's situation, he was promoted early in the season and has basically pitched the entire season. Now, the numbers have not improved. He has not. I'm sure there's been improvement good enough for the Diamondbacks to send him out there every fifth day. And, because his numbers really didn't get any better. But they still were going, and now here we are in the playoffs, and well, a little bit of comfortability, let's just say it. And but look, $1.40, a road team, underdogs are winning. Arizona's bullpen is hot. I'm going to go over still, and I know we're looking at a 9.5. Just as I came on the air, the total got steamed to the over also. So, but there it was already some tens at some sites, and then it was pushed down a little bit. But right now, it feels like we're just seeing heavy pressure at this point, to the over. So I've got to go over in this one.